buy or not to buy, that's the call.
What's up, beautiful people? Thank you for joining your boy Marquise on another episode of Buy That Toy. Now listen, this episode is going to be a bit of a deviation, if you will. We won't be talking about the norm, comics and toys and stuff like that, but it's still related. I want to give a quick review of Ironheart.
Stay or should I go? Only one way I will know.
And spoiler alert, there will be plenty of spoilers in this. So if you haven't seen Ironheart and you don't want it to be spoiled for you, you might want to skip this one. But I just wanted to talk about that show a little bit. I just recently finished it and man, I really love it. And side note, I had to go ahead and pull out my girl, Riri Williams. She's sitting over there. That's the Black Panther Wakanda Forever edition. I had the original Marvel Legend, but I got that figure. Of course, it was stupid cheap. It got down really low, and I really like the way that she looks, so I grabbed that one. Not a big MCU guy, but definitely like that figure. But anyway, on Ironheart and the actual show, first of all, I really liked this particular show. Now, I thought that it was fun. They introduced some new characters, and there were some things that I thoroughly enjoyed about the show. Before I get into what I liked, I want to talk about one or two of the things that I didn't like about the show Ironheart. So one of the things that I really didn't like, and I'm going to talk out about both sides of my mouth, if you will. I might contradict myself a little bit, but stay with me, if you will. So they introduced some characters, and one of the characters that we got to see in Ironheart was Slug. And Slug in this particular case was an individual who was a black male, kind of cross-dressed and all of that stuff, which I have no problems with anybody doing that, any of that stuff. And how you want to live your life is great and fine and all of that fun stuff. But the issue that I had with Ironheart is, as somebody who is in the comic and toy space and all that stuff, I truly believe that representation matters. And I sometimes don't like it when we just take a character that already exists and we flip it on its head and make it something new. Like, we're in a space with comic books and comic characters and all this other stuff. I think it's okay sometimes to create new characters, make somebody new. Thus Ironheart, right? That's why I love Riri Williams. She was a new version of the kind of Iron Man motif and spinoff, and they created this character and built her up in her own world. And I feel like they could have done the same thing with the character that they created, which was the individual who was the hacker and all of that stuff on the bad guy team that they dubbed Slug, all right? The flip side to that, this is what I mean by talking out of both sides of my mouth. Yes, representation does matter. And I love seeing different characters and different people in different spaces. And you know what? Sometimes they do just take a character and just flip it and make it something different than what it already was. I tend to lean more towards, hey, write somebody new. Everybody that's in the comic space, they are creative individuals and they have the ability to write new characters. And I would love to just see the development of new characters, right? For instance, Dylan Brock, Eddie Brock's son, they introduced him as a new individual and gave us a spin-off from Venom that just made it new and different and all of that stuff. Our Sleeper in the Venom comic book. Like, you can create new characters, right? One of my favorite kind of throwaway characters in X-Men is Maggot. He's not a very well-known character, but I think his power set is really cool. And what they did with Maggot and how they created the character and the way that he actually looks as an action figure, I think is really dope. And some of the stuff I've seen from him in comics is good. My point is that writers have the ability to create, so give us new characters that embody the essence of whatever it is you're trying to portray. I'm old enough to remember the original Slug and what he looked like and what he did or whatever. He was a bigger, obese gentleman, a white gentleman who could not move or whatever the case may be, and he just sit around and was kind of lethargic or whatnot, but you know, he was there. So like, I just, for me, sometimes I just want the new characters. I don't always want you to just take somebody and just like, oh, we're gonna take this guy and make him black, or this guy and make him Asian, or this guy and make him white. Like, just, it's okay to give us new guys, that's it. So that's a minor little thing or whatever. But with all of that said, the actual character and the portrayal and the way that they did things, didn't have a problem with the actual character itself. Like, I thought the representation aspect of Ironheart and what you got to see, for me, I loved it. The team of villains that they created to come in and just do everything in Ironheart, the hackers and all of that stuff. And the thing that I loved the most was seeing the Hood and first appearance of Mephisto in the MCU. Sacha Baron Cohen playing Mephisto surprised me how much I like seeing him in that role. For whatever reason, he pulled it off very well. You probably remember him from like Borat and stuff like that. But seeing him in a more serious role was really cool to me. And it really made me want to see more of Mephisto. I definitely loved the Hood. The way that they did the Hood, the guy that played the Hood, I can't think of his name. I'll put a picture of him up on the screen. But the guy that played the Hood was also in one of the most recent Transformers movies, and he did a great job. The Hood, Mephisto being the bad guys, how everything was done from that angle, I really enjoyed it and thought it was really good. The arc for Ironheart, I thought was dope. I'm gonna go back to something I kind of get a little bored of or whatever as it relates to shows and comics and things like that. Again, it's obvious I'm a black guy and I watch a lot of shows that have black leads or whatever the case may be. The trope about teenagers, all of them have to come from the hood or the projects. They all have to get in trouble and need to turn to the streets to try to make themselves famous or popular or get whatever that is that they need. I'm kind of tired of that trope. The trope of it's got to be some street level activity, some thugs or some gangs or drugs have to be in the mix in order to tell a story of black people. Like, for me as an individual, sometimes I get kind of tired of that trope, right? Like, why couldn't Ironheart, and this is going back to the core of who Ironheart is when she was initially introduced, why couldn't she be just a normal kid from a 2-parent home who just had her own struggles in school or whatever the case may be because she was super smart? You get what I'm saying? Like, why does she have to be from Chicago and then like growing up in a single parent household and all of that stuff? Like, it's okay to write a different story or angle from a black character's perspective. So as a black man who exists in this space and loves this space of comics and toys and all of the storytelling that goes around that, and even outside of just the comic and movie space, I like to see different things portrayed from characters. And naturally, I love seeing the representation aspect. I keep harping on that because I think that it's important. And it's not just a black-white thing. It's an inclusion of all cultures and races and ethnicities. I think that it's okay to pivot and write people in different ways and not always have to have a negative aspect of an association with certain things in order to tell the story. So, there's that. But anyway, back to Ironheart proper. One of the things I love that they stay true to with Ironheart is that she didn't have a ton of like actual weapons. You know, Ironheart is really in tune with the fact that she wants her armor and tech to be used for good, doesn't want the repulsor waves and the rockets and missiles and all of that stuff. She actually wants her tech to help people. So I like the fact that her suit was set up to where it was just like a smart, kind of ingenious type situation. And even when she's going through her battles and stuff at the end, you see her kind of outsmart the hood, which I thought was dope. So I love the cliffhanger at the end. If you didn't check it out, where we don't know if she accepted Mephisto's deal or not, it kind of appears that she did, but who knows? So I kind of like the way that they did that. And all in all, man, I thought it was a really solid show. So if you haven't checked out Ironheart, just watch it with a blank slate. It's a great way to just kind of turn off your mind and decompress. Was it the best show ever? No, absolutely not. But was it one that was fun and enjoyable? I definitely think so. For me, on a scale of 1 to 10, it was about a 7, 7.5. I did enjoy the show and I would recommend it from a Marvel standpoint. It was a good television show that we say television show, I guess it's an old guy thing, right? We don't actually watch shows that are scheduled to come on TV. We stream them all, but regardless, you get the point. I definitely enjoyed the show, and I think it's worth watching. So if you haven't checked out Ironheart, I would advise you to go check it out. It's definitely streaming on Disney Plus, and it was worth the watch, man. You'll see the 2 new characters introduced that I'm talking about in the Hood and Mephisto, and I think it makes the show worth watching. So if you get some time, check it out. See how they did the characters and portrayed everything. I thought it was really cool. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Wanted to give you a quick rundown of what I thought of Ironheart. Man, let me know what you think about Ironheart. And I'm not trying to be controversial with anything I say. I'm just giving my opinions and just kind of talking it out and letting you guys know what I feel. I do think, I guess I'm going back to what I thought. I do think from a cultural standpoint, I thought it was very inclusive and it displayed the culture well. And I do like how they did that. I like the way that they did her AI and all of that stuff. How her subconscious took over and it became her best friend. I thought that that was really cool. It wasn't just Jarvis. It was somebody that was a part of who she was. So I thought that the AI was dope and how they did that. So all in all, I did enjoy the show. I just think that there's opportunities and things for writers to do better to provide us with more creative things associated with the characters that we've come to know and love from the comic book universe. All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed my little spiel, if you will, man. Let me know what you think about Ironheart if you checked it out, man. If you've gotten any opinions on it, man. Not really trying to get into it with anybody, but hey, I'll welcome all comments down below, man. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you think, man. Remember to lock in, subscribe, like, comment, do all of that fun stuff, man. And I thank you for joining me on Buy That Toy. Until next time, remember to get off the couch, hit those pegs, and go buy that toy. Peace.
Let it fly or let it fall. So buy or not to buy at all. The ads they flash, the deals they shine. Temptation whispers all the time.